It was the night George walked out, a night that started ordinary but spiraled into something else. I was perched on the bed's edge, staring at my reflection in the dresser mirror, hair still wet from the shower. My eyes wouldn't meet their own gaze. Guilt, that's the thing about it. It shadows you in the quiet moments, pounces when you're least guarded. George stood framed in the doorway, face a mask, unreadable as granite. No need to ask, I knew. The air thrummed with unspoken truths, heavy and thick. 40 years of marriage, 40 years of becoming experts in silence, sidestepping the cracks in our lives, avoiding the hard talks. But this silence, this was different. Final. He didn't shout, didn't need to. His words were slow, each one a deliberate cut, deeper than any scream. I'm leaving, Susan, he said, his eyes colder than I'd ever seen them. You won't see me again. But this, he paused, a chilling emphasis. This isn't over for you. He walked out that night. No backward glance, no packed bags, no door slam, just a goodbye that froze me solid. Heart hammering, I listened as his footsteps faded down the hall, softer and softer, until they vanished. Weeks. I waited weeks. First, I told myself space. He needed space. Time to cool off. Maybe he'd come back. We'd talk it out. Even if talk seemed pointless. Empty. But days bled into weeks. Dread settled in like a stone in my gut. He wasn't coming back. Fear took root. Fear of what I'd done. Fear of what he might do. It wasn't just my husband I lost that night. It was control. My life, my sanity, who I even was. George's absence was a shadow, long and dark, stretching into every corner of my mind. And the worst part? I knew it was just the start. His last words echoed, looping in my head. This isn't over for you. He was right. It wasn't. The affair, I thought that was the rock bottom. Wrong. So wrong. It was just a spark. A tiny flame I thought would flicker out. Now, alone in this echoing apartment overlooking Central Park, I see the fire has spread, consuming everything. And who do I thank? Myself and maybe George. But one thing's for sure. Wherever George is, he's watching, waiting, and I'm here, haunted by his final words. Looking back, pinpointing the exact moment it all began is impossible. No grand decision to throw it all away. Marriage, dignity, peace. It was slow, insidious in the small unnoticed moments. A smile held too long, a conversation too personal. Then, suddenly, you're on the edge, ready to jump. It started at the gym. After retiring from teaching, restlessness set in. Days once buzzing with kids and lesson plans stretched into endless quiet. George, retired security consultant, older, always busy with his hobbies, fishing, history books, tinkering in his workshop. We drifted, separate orbits in the same house. So, the gym. Routine, mostly. Local fitness center. That's where I met Ryan. Trainer, young, so much younger, charming, smile that made you feel like you were the only one in the room. Energy, contagious, something I hadn't felt in years. Innocent at first. Gym chats, advice between sets. Flirting, sure, he flirted with all the women, especially the older ones, like me. Harmless, or so I told myself. Then the shift. Looking forward to those chats too much. Thinking about him outside the gym, wondering if he thought of me. Compliments started. Didn't look my age, more interesting than girls his age. Something stirred. Felt seen. George had stopped seeing me years ago. Together, yes, but not really. Ghosts in the same house, passing through the same spaces, never connecting. Books, projects, I was more roommate than wife. Ryan made me feel young, desirable, like I still had something to offer. The night it happened, just another night. Months at the gym, Ryan and I had a routine, talking after my sessions. Protein shake, back office chats about life. That night felt particularly alone. George away at a conference, apartment felt vast and empty. Ryan asked if I wanted a drink after the gym. Without thinking, I said yes. Warning bells, faint, ignored. Small bar near the gym, drinks. Then his car, quiet street. Wish I could say passion, whirlwind, swept off my feet, forgot the world. Truth, clumsy, awkward, regret even as it happened. Not love, not even lust, not really. Two people filling voids, grasping for something missing. Afterward, sick. Couldn't look at him, couldn't speak. Ryan, oblivious or indifferent. Cheek kiss, see you at the gym. Sat in my car, hands shaking on the wheel. Drove home, lay in bed next to George, back from his trip, staring at the ceiling. Stranger in my own skin. Guilt gnawed, but one-time mistake, I told myself. Lapse in judgment, never again. Bury it. No one needs to know. Secrets, though, they have a way of surfacing, no matter how deep you bury them. And it wasn't me who brought it to light. It was George. Never thought George would find out. Careful, I thought. Deleted messages, discreet. But George, smarter than I gave him credit for. Military, security work, mind sharp, always watching, always observing, should have known better. Confrontation, rainy Saturday afternoon, weeks after Ryan. Living in denial, everything back to normal, guilt fading, forgotten. Wrong again. Kitchen, making tea. George walked in. Quiet. Too quiet. Something in his eyes, hairs on my neck stood up. Didn't speak at first, just watched as I made tea. Tension, suffocating. Finally, Susan, we need to talk. Froze. Hands shaking, kettle down before I dropped it. Turned to face him, voice steady as I could manage. What's wrong? No answer. Pocket, phone out, heart sank, unlocked, held it out, face unreadable, took the phone, stomach churning, message on screen, Ryan. Simple, stupid text, hadn't deleted it, forgotten it, not even explicit, casual gym meetup, but George, not a fool. Didn't need more to know. Care to explain? Low, steady voice. Couldn't speak. Throat closed up. Room spun. Opened my mouth. Words stuck. George stepped closer. Eyes fixed on mine. How long, Susan? Voice calm but edge now. Contained fury. Terrifying. Swallowed hard. Met his gaze. It was just once. Whisper. Didn't mean anything. Mistake. George's jaw tightened. Turned away. Paced the kitchen. Long silence. Thick and heavy. Suffocating. Stopped. Faced me again. Cold. I don't care how many times, Susan. What matters is you did it. Betrayed me. Betrayed us. Wanted to defend myself? Nothing to say. He was right. Betrayed him. No excuse. I'm leaving. Sudden, sharp, final. I can't stay here. Not with you. Panic surge. George, please. Hand wave cut me off. I'm done, Susan. You won't see me again, but this isn't over for you. Walked out. Left me standing there, alone. Weight of guilt, sound of rain against the window. George's leaving, freight train. First days, shock. Went through motions. Waking, eating, gym. Moving through water, slow, heavy. Everything muffled by his absence. Apartment empty, too big, too quiet. Listened for his footsteps. Floorboards creaking. Nothing, just silence. Didn't tell anyone at first. Kids, friends. What to say? George walked out because of my stupidity, shame, judgment, couldn't face it. Kept it in, hoping he'd come back, talk, fix this, somehow. But days to weeks, realized he wasn't coming back. No calls, no texts, disappeared. Tried calling his phone, voicemail, begging messages, come home, talk to me, no response. Panic. What if something happened? Hurt? Worse? Police couldn't do anything. George, a grown man, no evidence of danger. Filed report, clear they thought it was nothing. Panic grew. Kids, Amy and David called, hadn't heard from their father. Brushed it off, work, traveling. Suspicion in their voices. Knew something wrong, sooner or later truth. Amy arrived a week later, couldn't hide it anymore. Walked in, face drawn, worried. Mom, what's going on? Tight voice. Where's Dad? Opened my mouth, no words. Burst into tears, everything crashing down. Amy rushed to me, arms around me, sobbed like a child. I'm sorry, whispered through tears. So sorry. Amy pulled back, confused. Sorry for what, Mom? What happened? Wiped my eyes, composed myself. Useless. Truth spilled out, messy, raw. Affair, Ryan, George finding out, walking out, everything. Finished. Amy stared, pale, thin line of a mouth. I don't believe this, whisper. How could you, Mom? How could you do that to Dad? Shook my head, couldn't meet her eyes. I don't know, admitted. Don't know what I was thinking. Made a mistake. Now he's gone. Amy stood, paced. Does David know? Shook my head again. Haven't told him. Exasperated sigh, hand through her hair. You need to tell him, Mom. He deserves to know. I know, softly. Just didn't know how. Amy stopped pacing, looked at me hard. You need to figure it out, Mom. Because if Dad doesn't come back, we need to know what we're dealing with. And I need to know you'll be honest with us. From now on. Nodded, lump in throat. I will. Promise. Left shortly after, face tight, anger, disappointment. Hurt her like George. Consequences now. David, less understanding. Called from Arizona, disbelief in his voice. You cheated on Dad? Incredulous. What the hell, Mom? How could you do something like that? No defense, no explanation that made sense. I don't know, David. Wasn't thinking. Made a mistake. Well, yeah, no kidding, snapped. What are you going to do now? No answer. Didn't know. Wait. Hope George would come back. Salvage what was left. Deep down, unlikely. Crossed a line, no going back. Fallout. Word spread quickly in our Upper West Side neighborhood. Whispers behind my back. Judgment. Every grocery store trip. Post office run. Friends distanced themselves. Pitying glances. Awkward excuses. Worst part, Ryan. Still around. Jim. Every time I walked in, same charming smile. Like nothing happened. Tried to talk. Rekindle. Whatever. Shut him down every time. Couldn't even look at him without feeling sick. Hated him. What happened? Hated myself more. Let things get out of control. Choices led to this disaster. Paying the price. Weeks went by, life unraveling in ways I couldn't imagine. Initial shock faded, replaced by gnawing dread. Grew each day. Couldn't shake feeling something terrible was coming. George's absence, just the beginning of a storm. Started with phone calls, infrequent at first, few times a week. Phone rang, answered, silence on the other end. Glitch, telemarketer, automated system gone wrong. Became more frequent, every day, multiple times. Ringing phone, nobody there, not just calls, strange emails. No subject, random numbers, letters, deleted them, spam, kept coming, then notes. Morning, small piece of paper under windshield wiper. Folded neatly, no writing outside. Unfolded it, heart racing. I'm watching. Hands shook, stared at the note. Mind racing. Who? George? Scaring me? Punishing me? Or someone else? Someone who knew about the affair? Betrayal? Prank? Coincidence? Deep down knew better. Deliberate. Someone watching. Wanted me to know. Paranoia consumed me. Couldn't leave the apartment. Feeling followed. Stepped outside, scanned the street, looking for shadows. Night, double-checked locks, curtains tight, bed, listening for sounds outside. Restless sleep, nightmares. George at foot of bed, cold, accusing eyes. Ryan, charming smile, twisting cruel, whispering in my ear, reminding me of that night. Apartment burning down, flames licking my skin, unable to move. Escape, couldn't talk to anyone. Amy and David, clear they were still angry. Friends, abandoned me, alone. Trapped in my own hell, no help. Then Earl showed up, George's best friend, military, stayed close even after retirement, no nonsense, gruff, straightforward, fiercely loyal to George. Knock on the door one afternoon, not surprised. Expecting him, in a way. Susan, he said, door open, serious. We need to talk. Stepped aside, let him in. Stomach churning. Earl always intimidated me. George gone, even more imposing. Sat at kitchen table, eyes scanning the room. Assessing. Looking for clues. Been trying to reach George, gruff voice. Not answering his phone. Swallowed hard. How much to tell him? He left. Whisper. Earl's eyes narrowed. What do you mean he left? Deep breath. Met his gaze. He found out about the affair. He walked out. Haven't seen or heard from him since. Moment of silence. Earl stared, cold, calculating eyes, piecing it together, making sense. Finally, George isn't the type to just disappear. Low, dangerous voice. You know that, Susan. Something's not right here. Nodded, throat tight. I know, whispered. I think he's watching me. Earl's expression unchanged, gears turning in his mind. Leaned back, crossed arms. What makes you think that? Told him about calls, emails, note. Concern grew in his eyes, though he tried to hide it. Finished. Long, slow breath. George has been in some deep stuff over the years. Quietly. Security work wasn't always above board. People out there who might have reason to come after him. Or you. Heart skipped a beat. What are you saying, Earl? You think someone's trying to hurt me because of George? Earl didn't answer. Stood, paced the kitchen, hands on hips. Stopped, turned to face me. I don't know, admitted. But we need to find George before it's too late. Earl suggested we look for George, convinced George hadn't just left because of the affair. something bigger. Didn't know whether to believe him. George never talked about work in detail, stopped asking questions years ago. But now, possibility he disappeared for reasons beyond broken marriage, unsettling mix of fear and hope. Fear, something terrible happened. Hope, maybe not all my fault. Earl and I retraced George's steps. Things, office, files, computer, clues where he might have gone. Invasive, prying into his life, no business being in. Necessary, answers, hidden, back of desk drawer, behind receipts, paperwork, small worn notebook, pages filled with George's handwriting, names, dates, places, didn't recognize. Simple logbook, Earl read, face grim. This isn't good, muttered, flipping pages. What is it? Heart racing. Earl glanced up, serious. These names, people George worked with, dangerous people. Confused. George's work was security. What's that got to do with dangerous people? Earl let out breath, closed notebook, table. George wasn't just in security, Susan. High-level, off-the-books operations. Things weren't exactly legal. Cold knot of fear. What kind of things? Earl hesitated. Private contracts, black ops stuff, government didn't want to get their hands dirty with. Sank into chair, head spinning. Too much. Married 40 years, didn't know who he really was. Blind. Earl flipped through notebook, paused at entries, brow furrowed, looked up, tense. Name here, slowly. Place in Montana, could be where he's headed. Montana, random, far away from everything, but thought about it, made sense. George always talked about getting away, off-grid, far from chaos. Maybe he finally did it. Disappear completely. Earl and I packed, flight to Montana next day. Didn't tell Amy or David, couldn't explain. Not yet. Truth first. Montana, rented car, drove for hours. Vast empty landscape, mountains dark and foreboding. Sky stretched forever. Beautiful, isolated, like we were the only two left. Address in notebook, small remote cabin, deep in woods. Abandoned at first glance. No car, no life. Approached. Faint wisp of smoke from chimney. Heart pounded. George here, after all this time? Earl knocked. No answer. Tried handle, opened easily. Cabin sparse. Furniture, bed, table, wood stove. Signs of life. Half-empty coffee cup on table. Newspapers by bed. Earl moved through cabin, checking rooms. Frozen in doorway, mind racing. George been here. Where now? Left again? Knew we were coming? Earl emerged. Back room, small box. Found this. Table. Old box, wood-worn, cracked, locked. Metal latch. Earl pried it open with knife. Photographs, letters, documents. Sifted through papers, heart sank. George's past. Military records. Photos with men I didn't recognize. Letters. Hinted at operations I couldn't understand. One letter stood out. Newer. Crisp paper. Unmarked. Unfolded it. Shaking hands. Eyes scanned words. Susan, if you're reading this, you've found me. Or close. Didn't want it to end like this. No choice. Life filled with secrets. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't explain. Knew you'd be hurt when I left. Couldn't stay. Not after what I did. Not after what you did. Made too many enemies, Susan. People who would hurt me. Now they know about you. About us. Had to disappear. For your sake as much as mine. Know this. Not coming back. Not now. Not ever. Goodbye. You won't see me again. But I'll always be watching. George. Hands shook. Read again. Makes sense. George hadn't left because of affair. Not entirely. Past caught up. Now I was in the middle. Drive back from Montana. Blur. Earl silent. Me too. Nothing left to say. Found what we were looking for. Answers. Only raised more questions. George gone. Truly gone. No bringing him back. Letter. Constantly replaying words. Always be watching. What did it mean? George still out there. Watching from shadows. Figure of speech. Haunt me with memory of loss. Didn't know. Ever would. Back in the city. Returned to apartment. No longer home. Tomb. Ghosts of past. Every room. George. Chair in living room. Books on shelves. Voice echoing in my mind. Couldn't stay. Called Amy and David. Selling apartment. Didn't ask why. Didn't need to. New chapter over. No going back. Moved to small apartment. Upper East Side. Away from memories. Modest. 1 bedroom. Tiny kitchen. Street view. Mine. Fresh start. Quiet for a while. Phone calls stopped. Emails disappeared. No more notes. Maybe, just maybe, move on. Then, one night, another letter. under apartment door, folded neatly. Just like others, hands trembled, picked it up, heart racing, unfolded papers slowly, dreaded what I'd find. Susan, I told you I'd always be watching, don't forget that. George, dropped letter, breath caught, still out there, watching, waiting, haunting me, absence frozen, letter on floor at feet. Didn't know what to do. Escape shadow George cast, gone but not really gone, not in ways that mattered. Thought about calling Earl, telling him, no difference, George wasn't coming back. Not the way I wanted. Made that clear. So, did the only thing I could, locked the door, drew curtains, sat in the dark, waiting for next letter. Next reminder George was still out there, watching. And that's where I am now. Sitting in dark, alone with thoughts, haunted by choices, man I lost. Don't know if I'll ever be free of him. Memories, guilt. But one thing I know, this isn't over, not by a long shot.